us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your district.
Okay. Well, I grew up in the district. I grew up in Bloomington, have been there since I was 7 years old, went through all the public schools there, graduated from Kennedy High School, and have two daughters who also went through the public schools there and graduated from Jefferson High School. I love the city and actually have the good fortune now of living next to the lake where I learned to swim as a young child. The district is West Bloomington and South Edina. It's, I think, an area that's fairly new over the last probably 20 years is when it's kind of completed its development. A lot of industry in there, hotel, restaurant type of industry as well.
And tell us a little bit about your background and why you ran for state representative.
Okay, well, I'm trained as a lawyer. I got my undergraduate from the University of Minnesota in physics, but then went to law school at William Mitchell. So again, never left very far from home, and practiced law for 12 years, and then went into the financial services business. I was hired by what was then Norwest Bank, now Wells Fargo, to manage one of their trust and investment units, and for the last 22 years have been in that business. So I think of myself more as sort of a quasi-lawyer business person these days with a financial services and investment background. Most recently, I served the last 6 years on the Board of Trustees for Bethel University. So most recently this year, I was hired by Bethel as Senior Vice President for University Relations, kind of bringing all of that background together because it's investments, it's law, it's constituent relations, it's philanthropy, a lot of the things I've been involved with for a number of years.
And why did you run for state representative?
Well, you know, I'm at an age and a point in my career where I have a lot of background, and I believe our state needs some discipline in its budgetary process. I think it needs a little of the business influence in the way that we run our government, and with the background I've just told you about, I think I've got some of that. And I truly believe, you know, our government was set up to be a government of citizens who have experience that they bring to the legislature for a number of years and then leave. And so I hope to be able to do that for a period of time here.
If you could offer up the first bill of the session, what would it be?
Well, you know, I've been so focused on this balanced budget. I think what I hope to bring is just some hard decision making that needs to come to the legislature in order to balance our budget. I think it is difficult to make those hard decisions. We want to serve the people of the state well. We want to take care of those who have needs. But we need to have the resources to do all that, and we need to make sure we've got resources in the future. So my focus will be on that. I am interested in our pension situation, our state pension situation, and with the trust background, I've got some knowledge of that, and that is something that I think we need to address to make sure it doesn't become a huge liability in the future. It's already an underfunded pension that's a liability now. We can't let it blow up later.
When the end of session finally rolls around in May, what will determine whether or not you have been a successful legislator?
I believe if we have a good balanced budget where hard decisions have been made, again, I guess getting back to the pension, if we've adequately addressed that, you know, being a freshman, I don't know how quickly things can be done and how they're done, but I would certainly hope that we're well on the road by the end of this session to having addressed the underfunded pension issue, perhaps moving the state into more of a defined contribution type of model, which most businesses have done at this point, which a lot of nonprofits have done over the last 5-10 years. That's been the move outside of government.
If you could sit down and have a conversation with anyone living or deceased, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Well, I think the most interesting person and the most valued person in history is Jesus. And to be able to have a one-to-one straight conversation with him, which I hope to have someday, but not too soon, I think would be most valuable.
I've reached the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or something that you'd like to add?
You know, I'm just so, this campaign has really been thrilling to meet people. By the time I got to Election Day, I had resolved that win or lose, it was well worth it. Just having met so many people, and I hope it's not just the district I ran in, I hope it's the whole state of Minnesota, but people were so welcoming and engaging and interested in what's going on in state government and in their communities. I mean, it gave me a whole different perspective of life in our state.
Well, thank you for sitting and talking with us.
Thank you, Patty.